Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. I'm Lewis Cipher, and this is the Devil's Advocates Debate Club. Today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the situation going on with Vic Mignogna. I apologize if I pronounced that horribly. He is, for those of you who don't know, a voice actor who, if you're into anime, probably voices someone you know. And has recently, and not so recently, been accused of inappropriate conduct with minors, as well as sexual assault, and at this point, probably lots of other charges. Some of these charges date back as early as 2012, if not earlier. And I'd like to talk about some of the sources of these rumors as I remember them from my time at conventions in my earlier years, as well as my experience with both the hashtag Kickvic community and hashtag IStandWithVic communities online, as I have recently been doing as much as I can to question both of them on Twitter. And honestly, I think I can say I've made friends in each. Now, Vic Mignogna was, among many other roles, Edward Elric in Full Metal Alchemist. I apologize if my voice shakes a little bit. It's actually been snowing a lot more than usual where I'm at, and I'm taking advantage of it for my video, but it is quite chilly. Anyway, he was Edward Elric in Full Metal Alchemist, and during that time started a fan club called the Risen Bull Rangers. Now, he didn't actually start it, he just okayed it when two girls came to him asking if they could start it. This fan club formed a rivalry with the Miniskirt Army, a fan group dedicated to the voice actor whose name I can't remember right now, who voiced Roy Mustang. And if you know anything about the Army, you'll get the jokes. I mean, about the anime. So, anyway, back in my convention years, I can remember rumors of Vic Mignogna starting the Risen Bull Rangers just so he could get more time with young girls. I think a lot of these rumors started directed at Roy Mustang's voice actor, but he was not nearly as much of an outgoing celebrity figure. I mean, he was to a degree, but Vic just had a higher following, so a lot more of them ended up coming his way. And some of these rumors, back in the day, were proven to be false. I mean, people came out and admitted that they were just spreading things because it sounded interesting at a con. Now, they disappeared for several years, because this started back in around 2007, and I thought that they'd gone away until recently, around 2015-16. Looking back, it looks like there is a Tumblr which goes back with stories to 2012, so it looks like there was a several-year gap between the two scandals. Now, in 2012, social media was now in full swing, unlike when the previous allegations had occurred, and people started jumping on the bandwagon with their Vic Hugged Me story, or worse. Some of the allegations are much more serious after all. And much more recently, several of his co-workers, Monica Ryle, the voice of Bulma, and, Jamie, her name, Jamie Marchi, Jamie Marchi, who voices several characters, I don't know. Anyway, they have jumped in and have claimed that this has been basically an open secret in the anime community for years, that he's been banned from conventions because of this, and that they have both been assaulted. You can read their stories online. Please don't harass them, as, quite honestly, whether or not they deserve it, there's just enough hate in these communities, and I don't think anyone deserves some of the things that have been said to pretty much every side, which brings me to the hashtags. Now, I believe hashtag Kickvic started first and pretty successfully destroyed Vic's career before any evidence or, court hearings or anything like that have come forward, he has decided to fight back with a lawsuit. I'd like to talk a little bit about what we can expect from that as well. But for the last week or so, I've been doing everything I could to talk to these communities, including a couple of the voice actors involved, and my experience has been interesting. For one, it's been very, very hard to get members of the Kickvic crew to talk to me. I now have conversations going with 2 of them that are quite productive, but almost every other one that I've interacted with has insulted me and blocked me for asking simple questions. A lot of the time they were unable to provide simple answers. The IStandWithVic community has been much more open to discussion, so to speak. Also, both sides tend to ask each other quite frequently, well, what if, the Kickvic side will ask the IStandWithVic, what if Vic loses? And the other side will ask, well, what if Vic wins? And in my experience with these tweets, it is almost always the IStandWithVic crew who comes back willing to accept the possibility that these allegations could be true and that we might not be able to stand with Vic if they are. I certainly could not. However, on the Kickvic side, there have been lots of people who basically come back to, like I said, any question just with blocking them. So I haven't had many answers from them of what they'll do if these allegations are proven to be false. I know personally that if they're proven to be false, I couldn't be a fan of any of the voice actors who made them. I also personally find the actions of certain people who will name unnamed, though there is quite the list going, to be quite disgusting. There have been death threats, both from the fans on both sides, as well as some of the celebrities involved. And while one unmentioned celebrity may not have been sending any themselves, they were liking them, which is almost just as despicable when you have a fan following that's going to latch on to your every word. So there has just been an insane amount of hate and very, very little presumption of innocence on either side. The I Stand with Vickers very rarely presume that any of these stories could be even remotely true, and the Kickvickers believe victims even if they haven't been proven to be victims yet. So it's become a completely toxic situation, and I think y'all need to just calm down. Here's where I stand so far. I will wait till evidence comes out to make any long-lasting claims as to how I feel on this situation. But Vic has handled himself much more professionally throughout than the people accusing him. Now, I understand that they're probably in a much more emotional situation if these allegations are true. However, I don't feel that that justifies the way that they've been treating some of Vic and their fans. Because not all of the people who have been treated ill by these celebrities are even standing with Vic. Some of them were fans of these voice actors themselves, simply speaking out against the way that they'd been talking to the I Stand With Vic crew. So they've been treating some of their own fans badly. One person in particular who, again, is a voice actor you've probably heard of if you are paying any attention to this controversy, was fat-shaming an autistic kid who I've been conversing with over the last several days. And, well, he can be quite antagonistic. He's overall a pretty nice guy. She also, she knew he was autistic. It had been brought up in the thread and she'd commented on it. So some of these people's actions is just absolutely disgusting, to the point where even if Vic is guilty and has to lose me as a fan, they already have. So I'm left in an awkward position that I think many fans are, of a no-win scenario. No matter who wins the court case or which allegations end up being true or false, we'll have lost a celebrity that we, well, maybe cared about, or in some cases, from what I've seen on both sides, people consider some of these voice actors heroes, at least to them. And I don't think we should ever make fun of someone for who they choose as a personal hero, but most of these people just aren't acting heroic. As for the court case, I do think, although I wasn't the first to say it, that there will be a plea deal. I think that the lawyer who handles the case may end up trying to push for more just to make a publicity stunt out of it, but I very, very seriously doubt that Vic will push it, and to be honest, most court cases of this nature end in plea deals. So I think that's the most likely solution we can expect from pretty much any of the defamation claims as well as the Funimation suit. Because Funimation fired Vic before any evidence. Well, they may have internal evidence, but again, at this point, I think if they're harboring him as a sexual abuser, then they need to turn that evidence over to the authorities, or at least to the public, so that, that's known. And if they're just giving in to mob justice and kowtowing to letters or emails from angry fans who want Vic's life ruined before the evidence has come to trial, then, well, I just don't think there is a good guy in this situation anymore, other than potentially, if he's innocent, Vic. And if he's guilty, well, maybe Funimation. Anyway, I've rambled on about this for a while. I came out here unscripted because I just thought the fairy lights in the woods were so beautiful, and anyone who's been involved in this situation definitely needs some levity, some peace, and some kind-hearted words. So even if you can't stand each other, even if you don't understand the other position, do me a favor, each and every one of you, at hashtag Kickvic and hashtag IStandWithVic, find someone who identifies as being on the other side that you can respect and say something nice to them. And then, hey, how about we stop identifying with sides, treat each other with people, and wait for the evidence to come out. Hashtag IStandWithJustice. Anyway, thank you for watching. I know you humans and anime characters need to be reminded to like and subscribe, so please do so for more lighthearted videos. This is mainly a debate channel after all. And I hope to see you again soon. Sincerely, your host, Cipher. Thank you for watching the Devil's Advocate Debate Club.